There's a new epidemic spreading at CNN and MSNBC: low ratings. After breaking their own record highs for years, the networks now find themselves in a freefall. For most of the 2000s, cable TV ratings were normal. Channels like ESPN, Disney, TBS, and HGTV ranked the highest, while CNN and MSNBC took lower positions, sometimes not even cracking the top 20. But everything changed when Donald Trump went down the golden escalators in 2015. Viewership for CNN and MSNBC shot straight up. They went from trailing the Hallmark Channel to competing with the top spots. 2016 was CNN's most watched year ever. They experienced an astounding 76% boost in ratings and then broke their own record again in 2017. MSNBC experienced even more explosive growth with the arrival of Trump on the scene. In 2016, the outlet nearly doubled its viewership, but it didn't stop there. The network has broken their own viewership records every single year since 2015.
Trump is a con.
Programs like New Day with Chris Cuomo, CNN Tonight with Don Lemon, The Rachel Maddow Show, and Morning Joe all contributed to the explosive growth, and all had one thing in common. They milked the Trump campaign and presidency for every ounce of ratings that they could.
President Trump.
President Trump.
President Trump.
President Trump.
President Trump.
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 Trump. Trump. Trump. Trump.
The Trump campaign. Trump campaign. The Trump campaign. The Trump campaign. Trump campaign. It's the Trump campaign. Donald Trump. Trump Russia. Trump campaign. The Trump campaign. The Trump campaign. Trump campaign.
It didn't matter what he said or what he did. Everything became a story.
At the dessert course, he gets 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with his chocolate cream pie.
The New York Times giving us some insight, including his daily regimen of watching up to 8 hours of TV and drinking as many as 12 Diet Cokes.
Like the way he drinks water.
The president reached for a glass of water during his national security speech. The president needs to use 2 hands, apparently, to drink from a water bottle.
They talked about what he wore, what he ate, how much he weighed, and, of course, his hair. And then there were the tweets. Every statement, every picture, every typo, and every meme became a story and a point for conflict. The networks also focused enormous amounts of time agonizing over the unsubstantiated Russian collusion story, impeachment, and his pitch for the Supreme Court. Trump became the antagonist that CNN and MSNBC had been waiting for.
Only CNN would ask that question. Fake news. Go ahead.
They even said he was complicit in hurricanes.
A damning Washington Post editorial is calling President Trump, quote, complicit in this storm, not for failing to prepare, but for failing to address climate change. 2020
brought a new flood of viewers as the media blamed Trump for nearly every aspect of the COVID-19 pandemic. How it began, how it spread, and how every human was doomed. The 2020 election also helped to provide the biggest news ratings year ever. Everything changed, however, when Trump was banned from social media in January of 2021 and left office soon after. The media lost their treasure trove of content, and suddenly, they had nothing to talk about. It only took about 50 days for CNN to lose 1.6 million of their primetime viewers. That's a drop of 36% in only a few weeks. Even worse, half of the viewers in the key 25 to 54 age group tuned out, which means prices for advertisements also had to drop significantly. The story over at MSNBC was the same. They experienced a 41% decline between March of 2020 and 2021. Digging into the ratings a bit more shows that the first few months of Biden's tenure have been no less than an embarrassing beatdown for CNN. CNN's best performing primetime anchor, Chris Cuomo, ranked 22nd among cable shows. Don Lemon, another leading CNN anchor, took 37th. Jake Tapper has lost 3/4 of his audience since January, and Brian Stelter hasn't even broken 1 million viewers for 12 weeks straight. Journalist Ted Koppel predicted this exact scenario in 2018.
The ratings are up. It means you can't do without Donald Trump. You would be lost without Donald Trump.
Well, that is what he says. Ted, you know that's not true.
CNN's ratings would be in the toilet without Donald Trump.
You know that's not true. You're playing for laughs.
Many pundits have attributed the decline in news ratings to Biden acting, quote, more presidential than Trump. But Biden has had plenty of non-presidential moments that certainly would have drawn scrutiny if Trump were in his shoes.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Why? You're getting nervous, man.
Look, here's the deal. You're full of
For example, here's Biden and Trump getting into heated exchanges with the same CNN reporter. The way the media responded to the outburst, however, is completely different.
Why are you so confident he'll change his behavior, Mr. President?
Yeah, I'm not confident in changing behavior. What the hell? What do you do all the time?
So
when did I say I was confident?
So how does that account to a constructive meeting as president? President Putin?
You don't understand that. You're in your own business.
Wolf, it is quite striking to just see the confidence in his approach, in his tone. He, certainly was comfortable in that moment, taking off his jacket, answering these questions.
Now, here's how the media responded after Trump's exchange with that same CNN reporter.
Why is this a global competition to you if every day Americans are still losing their lives and we're still seeing more cases every day?
Well, they're losing their lives everywhere in the world. And maybe that's a question you should ask China. Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
What, sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
That's not a nasty question.
Please go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
I have two questions.
No, it's okay.
But
We'll
you
go over
pointed
here.
to me. I have two questions, Mr.
Next,
President.
next, please.
But you called on me.
I did, and you didn't respond, and now I'm calling on
Sorry, I just
the
wanted
young
to,
lady in the back, please.
I just wanted to let my colleague
Okay.
finish. But can I ask you a
Ladies and
question?
gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, clearly the president was rattled enough to walk off because he didn't want to hear the questions from Caitlin Collins and Weijia Zhang. The president routinely targets reporters who are women and people of color.
In another example, the media praised Biden for eating ice cream.
There's been a lot of change in his political career over the years, but the one constant is that Joe Biden really, really loves ice cream. No matter what crisis is sitting on his plate, just get that man a cone.
Mr. Biden, what flavor did you get?
Mr. President, what did you order?
Chocolate chip.
But when Trump was in a similar spot, they accused him of being unhealthy and greedy.
The president gets 2 scoops. Everyone else around the table gets 1.
The White House staff has adapted to Donald Trump's taste. So when everyone else gets water, he gets a Diet Coke. When everybody gets 1 scoop of ice cream, he gets 2.
It's not that Biden is more presidential. That's not why ratings are going down. The media covers the current president in a completely different way compared to the previous one. Why is that? A CNN director revealed the network's different approach to Trump, as he put it. The employee appeared to acknowledge in an undercover video that CNN acted as a propaganda arm of Democrats, and that the media worked to get Trump out of office while also cultivating fear over COVID-19.
Look what we did. We got Trump out. I am 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe it, that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out.
Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? I think there's just like a COVID fatigue, so like whenever a new story comes up, they're going to latch onto it.
Do you think it's going to be just like a lot of like fear, like climate?
Yeah, fear sells.
It shouldn't be surprising that trust in the media is declining as a result. Only 29% of all Americans said that they trust journalists to report the facts. CNN and MSNBC made a lot of money as ratings and viewership went through the roof, thanks to manufactured constant Trump outrage. But they may have compromised the long-term value of their brands. Their audiences have become accustomed to anti-Trump coverage all the time, but now the key ingredient is missing: Trump himself. The New York Times reports that CNN and MSNBC have been working furiously in private to find out how to fix their ratings problem. But one solution they've tried isn't working. In a desperate move, the networks have searched for a new Trump. And they don't just want someone like Trump, they want someone that they can call Trump. Brian Stelter seemed to have succeeded in finding a replacement. He selected Tucker Carlson as the new arch nemesis of CNN. He even tried to brand Tucker as, quote, the new Donald Trump.
Tucker Carlson is the new Donald Trump. Every day, Carlson is throwing bombs, offending millions of people, tapping into white male rage and resentment.
The pivot failed to save the journalist from his steep ratings decline, however. His ratings continue to fall, and C-SPAN viewers are even calling in to air their grievances.
I'd like to ask Brian to, on national television, admit he and his network are a bunch of liars.
Mr. Stelter is the biggest minister of misinformation I have ever heard.
My suggestion is whatever CNN says, do the opposite and you'll be fine.
So will the legacy media ever regain the public's attention and trust? That's to be determined. But what's for certain is that CNN and MSNBC have yet to climb out of an ever-deepening hole. If the ratings have taught us anything, it's that the media's only hope is the return of Donald Trump.
If somebody else won, their ratings would go down, they'd all be out of business. Nobody would watch.